Wreckage, but still no sign of the pilot of a downed U.S. fighter as NATO ups the ante in Bosnia. And while some Western hostages are freed by the Serbs, hundreds of others are still being held. This is the CBS Evening News. And this is Bob Schieffer reporting. Good evening. The situation in Bosnia continues to deteriorate. The American F-16 pilot shot down yesterday is still missing. An administration official now says the government has no information indicating that he is alive. Bosnian Serbs did release some UN peacekeepers during the night, but a large group is still being held hostage, and the Bosnian Serb forces have now begun to occupy the UN's abandoned observation posts and checkpoints in some areas. In response to all of this, NATO defense ministers meeting in Paris have decided to send in a 6,000-plus force of soldiers to beef up the UN peacekeepers, but U.S. officials stress no American troops will be included in that. We'll have details coming on all of this. We begin with the NATO meeting in Paris, where Mark Phillips reports.
The UN's bigger stick was arriving in the former Yugoslavia today, even as the Western countries who are forming it were discussing exactly what the new force would be used for. The British have been beefing up their Bosnian operation all week. Defense ministers from 15 countries met in Paris today, determined to do something to end the repeated cycle of embarrassment the UN mission has endured.
What's been the problem in the last few weeks has been that the United Nations has often been humiliated, having its personnel detained, having weapons removed, having equipment stolen, because it hasn't had the proper capability to protect itself.
So now UNPROFOR, the UN protection force in Bosnia, is going to get protection. A quick response force that can be moved in by land and by air to deter or respond to Serb defiance. Its soldiers will be mostly British and French. The U.S. will not contribute ground forces, but will fly close air cover and supply equipment, intelligence, and moral support.
The results of this meeting are strong and unambiguous indication of the resolve of the international community and unity concerning the importance of strengthening the UNPROFOR.
In a major departure, for the first time in Bosnia, the new force will be under UN military command, but not controlled by UN negotiator Yasushi Akashi, and not wear the UN blue helmets. And it will not drive around in white-painted vehicles. This will be a fighting force in full battle dress, even if the UN's ambiguous mission in Bosnia has not been changed. If this high-powered meeting of defense ministers was designed to finally end the confusion over the UN's role in Bosnia, it hasn't done that. The participating countries have effectively given themselves a bigger stick with which to enforce a mandate that is as much a mystery to them as it is to the warring parties. Mark Phillips, CBS News, Paris.
Well, there is still no word on the American pilot who was shot down yesterday. Camera crews did reach the area where his plane went down, and we have more on that now in this report from Alan Pizzi.
The wreckage was scattered over a wooded area, and the destruction of the F-16 appeared to be total. One of the few intact pieces had a notice on it instructing the finder to return it to the U.S. government. There is little chance of that. The site is near Banja Luka, stronghold of some of the most hardline Serbs in Bosnia. Situated between the border with Croatia and the central part of Bosnia that is under Muslim control, it's all but cut off from the world. Any attempt to find the pilot by the Marines who are offshore would be difficult and dangerous.
The information from the Serb military is that he's kept, under their custody.
Okay, and that he's alive, and
Yeah.
not injured. Is he injured?
We do not have those details.
Ratko Mladic, the Bosnian Serb military leader, has been in contact with senior UN officials over the incident. But the Bosnian Serbs see NATO as an enemy and took on other planes at about the same time the F-16 was hit.
2, what we presume to be shoulder-launched surface-to-air missiles were reported to have been